Hi, everyone. We're starting week 2 in our class, and I wanted to just very quickly remind you of what we're doing this week, number one, and I'll be very, because I've already written that, and it's very simple. But I also wanted to talk to everyone, sort of in person, as it were, about the administrative procedures in our class because I know that they're unusual and the reasons why we have them depends on a lot of factors that I don't really have to explain in detail, but it's important for you to understand those administrative procedures because they affect everything you do. Okay, so first of all, what are we doing this week? This is very simple, and this will basically be the same story for more or less the first month of the class. And that is, first of all, introduce yourself in the discussions area if you haven't already. If you have already introduced yourself and done the class gallery and maybe done the little extra credit thing and want to update it or improve it or elaborate, that's absolutely fine with me. Okay, it just whatever you want to do and however you want to do that is fine with me. That's your area to begin to personalize yourself and to find your voice in the class. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is just to read the cave, and I'm going to come back to this in a second. And when I say read the cave, I mean read it really carefully. You're going to have to read it 3 or 4 times at least, and also think about what it means. Um, and this is always a little bit difficult for Phil 1010 students because they're basically used, I mean, to be really blunt here, they're used to reading stuff fast and waiting to hear about from the teacher what she or he thinks about things and what they're supposed to put on exams. We don't do any of that in philosophy. First of all, I'm really, there's no mystery. I mean, I tell you explicitly the basics of the cave, but I don't really test you on this, not really. I mean, I test you, quote unquote, on what you think about this and how you relate to this. And as far as I'm concerned, and quite frankly, as far as 99% of the students who take this class are concerned, that's a really good thing to do because there's basically no memorizing. I'm not trying to catch anyone out or figure out how long they have spent studying and all of that. I'm interested in that, first of all, you have a basic understanding of what's in those texts. And I mean, I tell you that. And then you apply it to your life and your experience. And that's the real thrust of the papers. And the papers are, in a way, very easy. I mean, they're not, anything that is going to, like, there's nothing mysterious about them. Okay, but as I said, I'll come back to that a lot down the road. Okay, so you read the cave 3 or 4 times. I would say it's going to take a minimum of I think I've already written 2 hours. It's going to take longer because the thing is, the more you read it, the slower the reading gets because you get into the passages and you realize that, oh God, I didn't see this, or I didn't see this, or I didn't see this, and then you got to think, well, what is Plato saying? And then you've got to work on what does it mean, or what does it mean to you, and that's always going to take some time. Then start the symposium, and the symposium is frankly is by far the hardest thing we read in this class, but it's really important. It's one of the most important documents in all of Western culture. And the importance for religion, the importance for political organization, the importance for our own identities is just crucial. I mean, it's just you can't exaggerate how important the apology is. But it takes a while to read. It's going to take us at least 2 weeks, as I said, because it's hard, and I will show you how to read this, and I have stuff all prepared. So the first time through is kind of painful, but then it gets easier and easier and easier, and as it starts to get into focus, it gets really easy. Okay, but that takes a while, so we all have to be patient. Connected to the symposium, it's connected to the apology is the symposium. and I really want to make sure that these videos don't get too long, is the symposium. The symposium is like a party, and Socrates is at the party. And it brings out things about Socrates that aren't in the Apology. And the you will combine the cave, what we talk about as philosophy, the Apology, and the symposium for your first paper. And that's like 4 weeks away, very, very roughly. Okay, so that's the first part. What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to read the cave. You're supposed to read the Apology. You're supposed to start working on the symposium. The symposium is short. The Apology is the only long thing we read all semester. After we get through the symposium, everything else is just a couple of pages, and there's really only about 30 pages for the whole course. So it's not overwhelming at all. Okay, so the things that you need to know about the administration of this course are as follows. First of all, this is a philosophy class. We're not into deadlines. We think deadlines are sub-philosophical, kind of childish, and very authoritarian. I mean, I have target dates for all the assignments. It's a good idea if you'd, finish the cave this week, we'll just say. It's a good idea if you begin the Apology towards the end of the week. It's probably a good idea if you finish the Apology in 2 weeks. So there's target dates there, and obviously then we'll write paper number 1, and there'll be a target date for that. But for all of those things, those are loose, flexible dates. There's no penalty system. There's not in the whole class. We don't do penalties. I'm a philosopher. I'm me. We just don't do penalties. My whole goal in this class is that you get the best reasonable grade possible. And so in that sense, I'm on your side. And let me just kind of be gross about it a little bit. Like if I see you slipping down into like C territory, I mean, I'll grab you, and we don't want to give C's. We want B's and as many A's as possible. And that's what I want from this class for you. Why? Because that's the sign that you've learned the class. The course material is really interesting. It's a little bit alien to most U.S. students, but it's alien for good reasons. And so, okay, so the due dates are all flexible. The thing that I don't want you to do ever in the whole class is like stay up over at night to write a paper. That's just a total waste of time, okay? It's unhealthy, and I don't want you to do it. It's better to take an extra 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days to write the paper the way it should be written. Okay, that's admin point 1. Admin point 2 is has to do with resubmissions. If you don't like your first grade, you just redo it. Okay, same deal. No penalties, no authoritarian, professor knows best. He just points out the issues in the paper. You forgot to mention blah, blah, or, your introduction wasn't, so clear, or, you didn't quote the philosophers and, stuff like that. And so you just redo it and resubmit it, and I give you the better grade. Okay, it's all pretty simple. So those are the two main administrative procedures. Also, if in either the forums or in the papers, if you're uncomfortable with one of the questions or a question, just tell me. We will rewrite the question. It's not, everything is negotiated in my class. Everything is like personal, and everything is basically on a one-to-one basis. And even though the questions on the papers, I think, work for most people, someone else might want to write something different. And the other thing is, if you want to draw on, many of you have religious backgrounds, and if you would here, let's say I have a passage from the Holy Quran, and if you want to bring in other passages, that's great with me. And it's the same with the Old and the New Testament. I mean, you're completely welcome to do that. Okay? So, that's it for now. I kept this under 10 minutes, which is kind of a miracle. And I'm sorry for the bad quality. Normally, I will do this on my computer screen, but the thing is, I can get the video made and posted faster by using my phone. And I'm sorry if it looks a little bit funny. You see the fan in the air, but maybe that's kind of exotic. So happy Memorial Day. I forgot. And happy Monday. And just whenever you need me, just contact me. The fastest way to contact me, the best, the most secure, the most productive is 301-728-5175. Just text me, okay? I usually respond either within minutes or within an hour or two. Okay, talk to you soon, and let me know if you need anything.